This is a KSL Weather Alert.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for KSL News Now. I'm Lori Pritchard. We have team coverage for you this morning following the storm that is impacting your morning commute. Brian Carlson is here following those traffic impacts. And out on the roads, we have Tyrese Boone and Kristen Van Dyke. But first, let's check in with Matt Johnson. We've got a little bit of a lull, but things are going to pick back up.
Yep, I got another round of snow showers that'll be headed in here just within the next few hours. Right now, you can see radar really broken up. Not much going on, but there are some flurries to be had, especially at higher elevations and along the Wasatch Back. Now, as we cruise around the state, you'll notice to the south, this is starting to pick up from Scipio to Fillmore, Kanosh, even Beaver, picking up snow showers. Radar, not the best coverage in this area, so there may be more snow than what you're seeing on radar. But Marysville out over to Cove Fort and Beaver, hey, a little bit of snow coming down. Moving into Cedar City, still waiting on some of those snow showers to really fire, but Orderville, north end of Zion, and then also into St. George. You've got some rain. Forecast for today, snow showers pick up mid-morning, potentially even into the afternoon hours, especially south and east of the Great Salt Lake. So, Brian, yes, we're seeing a bit of a break right now, but it doesn't mean there's not any trouble on the roadway.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of trouble out there so far this morning. Thank you, Matt. So some of that trouble still up the canyons right now. So Little Cottonwood Canyon, you're starting to see this is the checkpoint here where they're checking for chains or four-wheel drive to make sure you have what you need to get up the canyon, because we know that once you get further up, people are spinning out still here this morning. Now, for everybody down the valley, you're seeing that snow start to leave out, and as far as the roads, they're looking pretty green. Couple snags here and there, maybe an accident or two, but overall not slowing anybody down out there. Lori?
All right, Brian, thank you for that. Meanwhile, let's take a look outside on our roads. We continue our team coverage this morning with KSL meteorologist Kristen Van Dyke, who's live for us in Mobile 5. Kristen, last time we checked in with you, you were near Kimball Junction. It was really pretty snow-packed up there, but as you mentioned, as Matt mentioned, we're seeing a lull right now.
Yeah, so the snow hasn't been coming down for the last hour or so, and so where the snow has fallen is stuck up at the top of Parley's Canyon. And so when you enter Parley's Canyon, mostly rainy. I'll go ahead and show you the roads right now, and you can see this is up Kimball Junction. We're making our way back towards I-80, so away from Park City, heading back down the canyon, and you can see it's very snow covered here. And so I'm thinking about that morning commute, getting the kids to school. If you are going to be driving up the canyons, this is what you're going to be seeing once you get high enough up in elevation. At the base of the canyon, it's mostly wet roads, but you do have to keep in mind up on the East Bench, we were up there earlier and I just looked at some of the cameras there. We are still seeing some of those spots, especially on the ramps, 215, where it does switch over to a few little patches of snow and some ice. It's very, very spotty, but it's something that might catch you off guard because you think initially, oh, it's just wet roads, but there is some snow because it did come down a couple of hours ago. And again, up on the Benches neighborhoods, you may run into that when you're pulling out of your driveway, so you still want to allow for a little extra time to get those kiddos to school or if you're on your way to work. But yes, canyons, if you're headed up to do the ski thing, or if you're just heading up an elevation, maybe heading to Park City for work, you are going to be running into some slower conditions because of the snow-packed roads up here. I think a lot of people are used to it, and so far traffic does seem to be running pretty smoothly. I know Brian's got you covered on that, and Matt's got you covered because we are going to be seeing more snow moving in that could impact that lunchtime or a late morning commute. And I know Matt will have more on that coming up.
Yeah, we're going to check back in with him in just a bit. Kristen, we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Now we're going to get to our newest face here at KSL, Tyrese Boone, who joins us. He moved here from the great state of Texas, but now in Utah. And what we do well here in Utah is snow, Tyrese.
I see that. I mean, earlier this commute, I've seen a decent amount of snow, especially in the Draper area. But currently, right now, we're heading on the southbound I-15 towards Salt Lake. How about we take a look at currently the driving conditions at the moment? So as you can see, the roads are, even though the roads look clear at the moment, there are still some slick spots on the road. So if you are coming into the Salt Lake City area, just feel free to slow down a little bit. There's also police presence on the road. We have passed at least 2 cop cars that have slowed down traffic a little bit. So if you are heading towards the southbound, just know that there's going to be a little bit of traffic, and just make sure to slow down as well. As for the visibility, as you can see, we're currently have really good visibility right now. It seems like the roads have cleared up for the most part. But once again, guys, it is very imperative that you slow down, make sure you stay safe on these roads, and get to your destination safely. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Tyrese, thank you so much, and welcome to KSL. All right, stick with us as we continue to track this messy storm moving across northern Utah. We'll have updates throughout the morning streaming on air, and you can also download our free KSL weather app to track conditions right in your neighborhood. And the man of the hour, Matt Johnson, is here with us. We heard Kristen talking about that lull. She's seeing evidence of that in Park City. Is that across northern Utah right now?
Yeah, that's across most of northern Utah. Southern Utah, activity is actually really picking up right now. Wanted to show you where it is snowing in northern Utah, and that's our higher elevations. We've picked up about anywhere from 6 to 7 inches up at Deer Valley and Park City. Solitude clocking in with even more than that. Here's your rundown for today. Snow showers most likely the first half of the day, and then there's a chance for lake effect sometime late this afternoon into the evening and overnight. That's really a wild card, but most models buying into it, west into the Salt Lake Valley and then transitioning into Tooele Valley early tomorrow morning. More details on that, but I've got rain and snow also expected in southern Utah. You can see that radar really picking up over the last 3 hours out here towards Marysville, Cove Fort, Fillmore, all the way down to Cedar City. That's in the form of snow as they sit at higher elevations. Now you look off to the north and west, notice radar across the Wasatch is rather quiet. I do have another round of snow showers out here associated with the upper level cold core of this storm. And so that puts snow showers back in the forecast as we head through mid-morning, the lunch hour, and potentially early afternoon. Really depends if that cold core can get the lake going. But all in all, Brian, the quiet weather now will give way to more snow showers just a few hours from now.
Good to know we're getting a break, and we're seeing that on the road here too. So as you heard both Matt and Kristen talk about, conditions have gotten a lot better. So this is Washington Boulevard here in Ogden. We've checked back in with this camera a couple times throughout the morning, and this has gone from snowy and slushy to just kind of maybe slick and wet right there. So you can see surface streets out there on the roads, still kind of somewhat slick, and that goes for Murray on the freeway here. Same kind of thing, not slowing anybody down. And when you look at drive times overall, coming into the Salt Lake Valley, everybody's in the green. There, Lori.
All right, Brian, thanks.
It was like boom, 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 boom.
This should never have happened. This should never have happened outside a place of worship. It should not have happened at a celebration of life.
We will work until we bring these individuals to justice.
And this morning to our other top story. We continue to track breaking news out of Salt Lake City, where a manhunt now underway for at least one gunman that opened fire on people who were attending a funeral. We know that 8 people were shot, 2 of which were killed. There's still a lot of unanswered questions at this point. News specialist Alex Cabrero joins us live near the scene at Redwood Road and 700 North with the very latest on this deadly shooting. Okay, Alex, you've been there for about 2.5 hours now. What has changed since you arrived to the scene up to this point?
Well, Lori, to be completely honest with you, things here are still pretty much the same all morning long since we've been here. We've noticed police officers, detectives just processing the scene, looking for evidence, doing some markings and such, and still have plenty of crime tape up here around the actual meeting house that's there. We did notice some crime tape that was taken down on the north side of the building toward the McDonald's, but it is still closed right here, still full of crime tape. The big thing that police continue to do is try and figure out who did this. Was it one person? Was it several people who opened fire on a group of other people who were grieving at a funeral last night? Now, that first call came in for 911 last night just after 7:30. There was a massive police response, more than 50 units from the Salt Lake City Police Department alone filling Redwood Road. Investigators say this all started when some sort of fight broke out in the parking lot of the meeting house where that funeral was taking place. The suspect or suspects then took off in what's described as a gray or silver car. Police say they don't know yet how many people started shooting, but despite that, their top priority right now is tracking them down. We spoke with some witnesses who heard it all happen.
Shots were fired outside of the meeting house, but you could definitely hear them inside. It was pretty loud, especially when inside all you could hear is just quietness, and then with those loud shots, definitely kind of shook the whole place up.
And as police continue trying to figure out who did this, investigators wanted to point out that they do not believe this was a targeted attack against a religion. That was initial concern, especially after what happened with that Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, with that church up in Michigan. And this first call came in as a shooting at a church. So that's why there was a heavy police presence at first, an active shooter. But it doesn't appear that this has anything to do with targeting a religion or anything like that. But again, police are still out here on scene. They've been here since 7:30 last night, processing the scene. As far as an update, we expect to hear from Salt Lake City Police Chief Brian Redd later this morning. Last night he said there might be an update around 10 o'clock or so. And when we get that, we will certainly have it live right here on KSL. Lori, back to you.
Alex, a question for you. I know that you have worked with many police departments across the state in covering different events. When we talk about this news conference, this shooting right here would be characterized as a mass shooting. Is it unusual that we're not getting any information until 10 o'clock this morning? Would we have expected maybe some updates from police earlier?
That's always, they're trying to figure out exactly what's going on, Lori. And if they don't have any new information, certainly in past cases similar to this, why would they keep having updates if they have nothing new to release? They probably want to wait until they have some more information to release to have some type of an update. As far as people who live in the area, one thing they heard from Chief Redd last night was that they were happy that it didn't appear like this was a random shooting, somebody just trying to look to do massive casualties throughout the area, that it looks like whatever was involved at the church with the funeral going on, that it looks like the people that were doing the shooting most likely knew the people who were in the church. We heard were these gang-related shootings. That hasn't officially been confirmed just yet by Salt Lake City Police. That is part of the investigation. But certainly when they do have more information, we will hear that from Salt Lake City Police, especially if they know who did this, if that person is in custody or people in custody, and we'll get that hopefully later this morning, Lori.
Hunt does continue at this hour, and as people who live nearby, there are homes, there are apartment buildings, but at least those people living nearby can at least take some sort of comfort in knowing there's not a greater threat to their community. Alex Cabrero, thank you so much. You've been watching this all morning long for us. We appreciate your time. Thank you. In other headlines this morning, Timpanogos Legal Center now teaming up with 911 Cell Phone Bank to help make sure people in crisis always have a way to call emergency services. Now, through the partnership, TLC can provide emergency use phones that call 911 without a paid service plan. They say community members can help by donating unused devices. And you can learn more at 911cellphonebank.org. And with the snow sweeping in right now, warming centers in northern Utah expect to see an uptick of visitors. And while it's something organizers have been preparing for, they say they still need some help. This is the third season for the Utah County Warming Center. Volunteers have done street outreach to try and bring people in ahead of the storm. The center says since it's been open, 30 people who used to stay there are now housed.
We had one of our staff members who was on the mats last year say to us it felt like family, and it made his day better knowing that he had a place to stay that night.
The center is in need of blankets, snacks, and small items like hats and gloves. And you can take any donations to the Community Action Services Center that's located in Provo. All right, we're going to check back in with Tyrese Boone in Mobile 5 this morning. Tyrese, we saw a little bit of wet roads, I should say, a little bit earlier this morning. We've got a lull. What are you seeing now as you're driving around the valley?
Well, as I'm driving around the valley right now, we currently see clear roads. I mean, right now we're going on southbound right past the Salt Lake City. As we can see right now during this traffic cam up, as you can see, traffic is pretty much slowed down a little bit. The roads are kind of dry, but there's still some wet spots throughout your commute. So people, if you are deciding to take a morning drive today, or if you're going to work, make sure that your car is road ready. Make sure that you have your windshields wiped off. There's a couple of people that have had their windshields non-visible, which could be a tough drive, as you can see. But with that being said, just make sure that you stay alert, make sure that you're driving slow, and make sure that you're watching these roads because there are still some slick spots here. Back to you guys in the studio.
And make sure you're wearing your seatbelt, Tyrese. I see you're wearing yours, so good call. All right, let's check in with Matt Johnson now and talk about what is happening outside.
All right, yeah. Hey, we've got snow showers in northern Utah, mainly at higher elevations. Valleys, we've got a break. But you'll notice that these snow showers are accumulating up at Solitude Mountain. They've already picked up about 10 inches of snow in the last 24 hours. 9 inches for Beaver Mountain, Brighton the same. Half foot for Powder Mountain, Alta, Park City, and Snow Basin, picking up a solid 5. Now, you look at the other resorts, and we've got a solid 7 inches for Deer Valley, 5 inches for Snowbird, Cherry Peak, and Nordic Valley finally on the board here with 5 inches of snow. Their biggest snow of the season so far. They sit at a lower elevation in Ogden Valley. All right, low pressure and the cold core of the storm is going to be moving in here just within the next couple of hours. So that'll help fire off another round of snow showers across the Wasatch Front. Right now, models indicating that being sometime around 9 a.m. Into west central Utah, more snow. Even into Cedar City, New Harmony, and Enterprise, you could get some snow out of this thing as we move into 9, 10, and 11 a.m. By 7 p.m. tonight, snow showers still coming in off that Great Salt Lake, but mainly the west end of Salt Lake Valley and into the Tooele Valley. By Friday afternoon, we are pretty much done with that thing. We don't have much to talk about with the storm as high pressure is going to build right back in. And next week looks hazy, quiet, and sunny. All right, 33 in Manti. You've got a chance for snow showers. Richfield the same. St. George, it's rain for you, but you get up into the higher elevations, Veo, you might even get a little rain-snow mix out of this thing. 32 in Montpelier, snow showers. Heber City the same, 35. Wasatch Front, I think that next round of snow showers is just a couple of hours away, so be ready for it, especially if you're not seeing it now. Park City today is only going to top out at 29 degrees. 45 today, showers in St. George, cold and dry behind this front. Blue numbers indicating 10 below the normal. We'll then go for 40s and 50s headed into next week. Wasatch Front, you've got 37 today, snow showers, 34 on Friday, and then we go for haze as high pressure caps off the valleys. We're not going to be ventilating much, so air quality will deteriorate. Brian?
Get to some higher elevations. In fact, no haze right now up Sardine Canyon, where we do have a crash this morning. As the sun's starting to come out, we're starting to get a better look at the conditions on the road. And so a lot of us in the valley is getting just slick conditions, but you have snow sticking to the road as you're heading up towards Logan. The crash here is headed southbound, but not major issues there, at least as far as you're headed up the canyons this morning. Conditions improving for everybody, especially you come out through Weber County, down through Davis County, into the Salt Lake Valley. Things are looking A-OK, even into Utah County, where we have some spots where the snowstorm had affected the roads, not slowing people down out there this morning. Lori?
To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis.
Well, Minnesota's mayor, Jacob Frey here, Minneapolis, I should say, he is not mincing words at all. That was his message to immigration officers. That Minnesota community is mourning the killing of 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, who was fatally shot by an ICE agent. Now, we want to warn you, this video may be disturbing to some viewers. Now, this is newly obtained surveillance video showing the SUV and the mother of one inside, said to have been driving on Wednesday. Apparent ICE agents approached this vehicle, and moments later, the SUV drives onto the road. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem alleges Good was trying to run over an ICE officer who then shot her. State and local officials are disputing that self-defense claim. Protests have erupted all over the country, and this is video from New York, where a crowd gathered in Foley Square for what they called an emergency rally. Meanwhile, protests are scheduled for right here in Salt Lake City this evening. The organization PSL Salt Lake says they are holding an emergency protest at Pioneer Park to demand that ICE leave every city they have been deployed to. That rally begins at 5:30 today. UDOT wants to build a new highway on the west side of Heber City as that area continues to grow. They recently published an environmental impact statement to better traffic and say this is the preferred option. The plan is to create a 4-lane corridor and build new connections between US 189 and US 40.
There's a lot of congestion, backup on Main Street, and so the new corridor will allow traffic, an alternate route for traffic to travel and not be on Main Street.
A public comment period opens up for that project on Friday. It will continue through March 9th. You could submit thoughts online and by phone or in person at a Utah Representative Matt McPherson met with the Utah Board of Education talking about a data collection issue at schools across the state. That debate is over keeping information in one statewide database or allowing schools to choose their own collection system. He says the committee has spent the last year trying to find a solution to prevent future data breaches, while keeping everyone happy.
But I'm hopeful that we don't find ourselves in a situation where the legislature just simply wants to use the heavy hand and force a route that may not be in the best interest of all the parties involved.
McPherson said any solution would take 5 to 10 years and it would increase costs in a time where funding is now being cut. Lawmakers have said data privacy will be one of their top priorities for this year's legislative session. That session begins January 20th. The Great Salt Lake has some of its lowest levels ever, according to 2025 totals. And while that's a problem, members of a state strike team who are working to save the lake say they are making progress. Water allotments to the Great Salt Lake are almost 10 times higher than they were 5 years ago. The team is also using an adaptive berm to manage the extremely salty northern area to help the lake's ecology. There are also a number of efforts underway to better manage and monitor the dangerous lake bed dust. The team believes through wide-range efforts, the future of the lake is promising.
We come away from this project really optimistic that we are putting the tools in place that are going to help us be the international example of a place that saved a declining saline lake.
Saving the Great Salt Lake will take a sustained effort over decades, and part of that effort comes from Mother Nature. We need the precipitation, we need the snow. We're getting some of that, but we need a lot more of it.
Oh yeah, we do. And luckily we still have a few more months of winter and spring where we can build that snowpack. But right now, the storm system is taking a bit of a reprieve, if you will. And you can see radar has kind of calmed down. Still some flurries out there, especially higher elevations. Now, the next round of snow showers are just off to our north and west. And we'll see how it impacts the Wasatch Front, but that'll be our next round, and it's probably going to be a couple of hours from now. 9, 10 a.m., you got snow showers. Working into the afternoon, well, we'll see how we do, but temperatures top in the mid-30s for the Wasatch Front with scattered snow showers. We got snow showers right now through west central Utah, St. George. It is in the form of rain. Your forecast, Washington County, has rain showers all the way through the lunch hour. I think after that mark, it really starts to break up. But Brian, a lot of the activity earlier this morning was with that cold front.
Yeah, we definitely saw a lot of activity. And this is kind of this snapshot here in Davis County gives you a good sense for how the morning has gone. You've got snow here on the side of the road. The roads are wet. We had traffic. There had been a couple of accidents, but the slowdowns we're seeing right here, not because of this crash. So be aware that there is some slick conditions and we hadn't had crashes because of it. That also means for people headed up the canyons, let's say you're headed up to the ski resorts here this morning, Little Cottonwood Canyon, they're doing the check for everyone having four-wheel drive or chains. But once you even get up the canyon, people are still spinning out. So mild storm this morning. Has had a couple of hiccups because of it, Lori.
All right, Brian, thanks for checking that traffic for us. We appreciate it. And thank you so much for joining us for this segment of KSL News Now. We leave you with a wet Salt Lake City waking up this morning. Be careful out there and make sure to download our KSL Plus app. Wherever you go, I should say, you can get weather down to your neighborhood. Thanks for being here with us.